Hi, we are the Motivational Theories and Incentives Group. I'm Alexa Verney.
I'm Patrick Willix.
I'm Christopher Peralta.
I'm Matthew Weiss.
So a major challenge that organizations face currently is that of motivation and how to keep the workforce motivated. How to solve that challenge breaks down into a study of how people and the way they behave and why they behave the way they do. Motivation can be considered a personal trait or an interaction between person and situation and how they may handle and go about certain situations. Motivation may be defined as the willingness to exert a high level of effort towards organizational goals conditioned by the employee's ability to satisfy some individual need. So there are two main views on work-related motivators. One view is that financial incentives motivate the workforce, and then the other view, on the other hand, is completely opposite, where incentives do not motivate at all. The article addressed an attempt to answer two main questions. The first question is, do incentive schemes have a significant impact on motivation? And the second question was, what kind of incentive programs would be appropriate to increase the performance level for individuals as well as organizations? There's motivation itself is linked between reinforcement or reward, and these could be external or internal. For different variables such as satisfaction and making meaningful contributions, these can serve as huge reinforcement for the individual. So there are three major components of motivation, and this is activation, intensity, and persistence. These major components are based around interesting work concept and the organization's ability to keep work interesting for the individual. This can change based on what makes certain people interested in different topics. So in the long run, it's not feasible because it's hard to keep everybody interested in what they're doing at all times. In the current workforce, good wages are a main factor and have become a main factor of motivation. All employees value it based on race, age, occupation, and demographic factors play a crucial role in that as well. There's individuals at different organization levels in different environments may have different motivational values. So all these differences must be taken into consideration when thinking about motivation. Motivational theories themselves have fallen into different schools. One is physiological, cognitive, and then behavioral. The physiological school is based around all behavior is determined by physiological needs. Cognitive is where behavior is based on rational thought processes. And behavioral is where certain behaviors are selectively reinforced through reward. Financial incentive has been proven to definitely improve performance and motivation within the workforce, especially in current years. But other non-financial incentives also play a huge role, such as sick pay, medical benefits, bonuses, etc. And the main emphasis in this study is on incentive schemes, which Patrick will now discuss.
So talking about incentive schemes, incentives are a special form of reward that encourage and stimulate employees to produce the desired behavior. Some management experts argue that money only motivates individuals that are already motivated. According to Cohn, rewards by large succeed in securing only temporary compliance and do not create an enduring commitment to any value or actions. Whereas Hertzberg holds the fear that coercion and fear cannot create or increase motivation. Incentive schemes are established with the objective of improving performance through fulfilling the needs of employees. The importance of rewards could be high or low, depending on the context. And employees who are at the stage of struggling to fulfill basic needs would prefer cash rewards, while those who are a little more comfortable would tend to seek rewards with recognition or satisfaction income. Moving on to financial incentives, it has been found that performance-related remuneration has been partially useful in the context of some developed countries. Hume has reported that 78.5% of the organizations surveyed believe that performance-related remuneration motivates employees and provides a better scope of the notion of social equity. Payments by result of Profit sharing, gain sharing, commission, or employee stock ownership plans, also known as ESOPs, are the same of common use forms of performance-related remunerations. Base pay, as opposed to payment by results, like for the performance-related ones, is a traditional regular income that people receive for their contribution. In this method, individuals' accountability for receiving a reward is very low. Today, companies everywhere are seeking ways to minimize base pay and increase the variable component of rewards in the pay, thereby controlling costs, achieving maximum performance, and ensuring individual accountability. Thus, those who perform the work on average or below average levels will not reap those incentives. And some organizations in developed countries follow the merit pay system, either in the form of salary increase or in the form of bonus. I will now be passing it over to Chris Peralta.
So here we speak about another article which we had researched and looked through, which was focused on remote working in the workforce for different types of jobs. So what we had found out is that this is something very difficult, where we see that motivation could be lacking in many different businesses because of the fact that while you aren't going into the office, you aren't receiving the same types of communication with others who you work with on a day-to-day basis, and you may not be feeling as appreciated as you would have been before COVID-19, which was a great way we have seen the shift from in-person offices to remote working. So when we look at the motivational theories that are spoken about in many different organizations, it is very important that all types of employees are thought about, and these different personalities are considered when trying to understand what exactly these people are looking for, whether it be incentive wise or just different types of appreciation, whether it be through just cheering them up and telling them that they did a great job on different tasks, because anybody that's working for an organization would like to be feel like they are appreciated by their employers. While we look at this, we see that the communication will be very important, whether it be between middle management and other types of management, so that everyone understands what is going on. When looking at the article that we researched, it spoke a lot about the transformative leadership style, which will be used in many different ways to instill different types of confidence within the workforce and show the gratitude that they need to for these employees. These gestures will translate to a perfect environment for everyone within the workforce, so that they are motivated and continuing doing the different tasks that they should be doing while they are at home working. Because while remote working, we see that many people may have many different types of distractions, whether it be children, wives or husbands, and things of that nature. Motivation and job satisfaction will go hand in hand and within any type of organization. That being said, this motivation allows for the organization as a whole to flourish, as well as the employees to flourish within their job descriptions. I would now be passing on to Matthew, so you can continue on about this article.
This article goes on to go into deep study about one particular group of nurses of 44. Most of the reviews by the nurses is positive, but some keynote negative responses that they had were that leadership is careful to consider the staff perception whenever they are making important decisions. Only 26 or 12 nurses strongly disagreed with this, as well as leadership understands my work. 20% of the nurses said that they were dissatisfied with leadership response to outreach, as well as disagreed with the amount of support leadership provided. This means that transformative leadership needs to understand their charge rather than leading the pack. So they have to focus on adapting to this new world of remote work in the nursing world, and this can be applied to other jobs as well. It is important to be aware and communicate within the organization, especially in remote work, when you aren't going to see each other every day or even talk to each other sometimes for long lengths of periods. So they have to collaborate and communicate very, very thoroughly to each other. In conclusion, in the ever-changing environment we find ourselves today due to COVID-19 and the evolution of remote work, transformative leaders and leaders in general have to find means to adapt and motivate their employees so that they can succeed and have the company be able to produce and provide services to the public and their customers. Our focus question is, what factors go into your own personal motivation as discussed in the presentation? Are you more incentivized based or non-incentivized based when it comes to motivation? Explain. And here are our Works Cited page. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a good day.